morning, beloveds.
Good morning.
How are you? You're looking good. Christmassy. Thank you guys for decorating this room. It looks fantastic. The whole place looks great. Thank you. I love these guys and all the energy that you have. We are continuing on our series, a series called Ask Yourself This. It's a book by Wendy Craig Purcell. And we're asking ourselves questions that help us to grow and expand our consciousness and our, that should be good, and our understanding of God. Thank you, John. We open up our minds, we expand our hearts, and we awaken our souls. And when we do that, we renew a sense of purpose, and we renew our vision, and we attain unshakable joy. Yes. Marianne Williamson told us that there is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you. We are born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. That is what we are here to do. And so I want to talk with you a little bit today about two things, about how we are going to know ourselves and grow by asking ourselves some questions. And the first thing we're going to do is to understand ourselves better. And the second thing we're going to do is to set some intentions. So if you can go ahead and pass those cards around. There we go. There's some work to do, so hopefully you have a pen and paper. Yes, there's work to do this morning. We manifest the glory of God within us. And how? Because we have to stand for something. We have to make a claim on who we are. 1 Corinthians 16:13-14 says, keep your eyes open. Hold tight to your convictions. Give it all you've got. Be resolute. And love without stopping. See, everybody has an idea about your life and about how you are supposed to be living, right? Right? I mean, everybody has an opinion, and we know what those are like. And they stink as well. So, when I was growing up, I was younger. I was I think I was 15 at this time. I was in Colorado at 15. And I've shared this with you guys. A lot of people have a hard time believing it, but you believe, regardless of the truth that other people see, you believe what you believe. And sometimes you can change that belief, and sometimes you can't. So I never believed that I could actually sing. I didn't think that I had a voice. And the reason I didn't is because of the church that I went to. And it's a fundamental church. It's great. I love growing up in it. But they told everyone that they sounded good. And I'm listening to people singing off key and, not singing so good. And so I'm thinking, they're telling me I sing good as well. So I can't really go with that opinion. So I really didn't think I could sing well. So I'm over at a friend's house, and there's a gentleman in town. His name was, I remember the name of his name. I don't quite remember the name of the band, but his name was Jimmy Jules. And he had this band, and he was well known in the community. And I was over there. I think a girlfriend of mine was going to audition for him. I'm not sure, but I went with her. And so she's singing a song, and I'm singing along with it just because I know the song and I'm singing. And he's like, oh, let me hear you. Let me hear you sing. And so we just started doing some Motown things, and it was wonderful. And he wanted me to start singing with him in his band. So I told my dad about it, and I was telling my boyfriend at the time, who had an ulterior motive. He did not want me going out of town and on the road with this guy. So he shared with me that this guy was no good, and he was a pimp, and it was insane. And he told my dad this, so they said, no, it's not a good idea. You can't go. Well, I'm 15 years old, and I don't know how you are at 15 years old. But at 15, there's not a whole lot you can tell me that if I want to do it, it's going to get done. It's going to get done. But I was ambivalent about it. I didn't believe I could sing anyway. I was ambivalent about going. And so when my father and my boyfriend had an idea saying that, oh, no, it's not going to be good for you, you shouldn't go, I said, fine, because I was ambivalent. So here's what I want you to know about that. Other people's ideas will only enter your heart and only be good for you if they resonate with you. Okay? Good or bad, positively or negatively, if they resonate with you, they will enter in. Or if you're ambivalent, they enter in. Okay? So we have to get a clear understanding about who we are. Ephesians 6:13 says, heretofore be in the full care of God, meaning let God take care of you fully. So that when an idea of limitation comes in, you may be able to stand your ground. And after all is said and done, stand in the truth that you know. So what we're trying to do is to get a clear personal vision of what you and spirit can do together. Individually, what you and spirit can do together. What is the vision? To look within you is to awaken. To look within you is to awaken. So the first thing I want to talk about was, how do you know yourself? And how do you know yourself better? Well, the first question I want to ask you is, who do you believe you are? Does everybody have a piece of paper? Please write at the top. Just turn it side this way so you can have some room to make a list. On the one side, because I got something I want you to write on the other side. On this first side, write this sentence: I believe I am. Let me give you 30 seconds to write down some positive words that go with that statement. I believe I am what? These are some positive words. You can use some of these. You can use whatever words you want. You have 30 seconds starting now to write down just a couple of words, 3, 5, however many come to you. I believe I am what? In a positive way. Now, 5 seconds left. Okay. And then below those, if you finished, below those questions, I want you to write that statement again. I believe I am. And now 30 seconds to list what you might consider, what you, not anyone else, what you might consider is a negative aspect of yourself. I believe I am what? In a negative sense. More seconds. So here's the point. It doesn't matter to me or to anyone else what you wrote on that paper. This is for you to take home. But the question you want to ask yourself about those is, what is positive and why? And what is negative and why on the paper? And don't need to waste time feeling bad about what those things are. Or don't bother with it. Don't bother comparing yourself to someone else, to other things. You don't need to worry about that. What we can do is this. If whatever you wrote down brings you joy, okay? Brings you joy, I would suggest you keep it. If you wrote down something that weighs on you, it weighs on you. I have people telling me that I'm obnoxious. I don't care. I don't care about that. Girl, you loud. Yes, I am. And I don't care. Those things don't bother me. What bothers me is sometimes I don't think I'm worthy of things. And so I work on that. It doesn't weigh heavily, but it weighs. Shouldn't be there. So for me, that's something that I'm taking into my intention as we move forward and talk about intentions. Those are things I'm taking. So this is what I want you, this is what I'm saying about your life. Again, we're trying to get a clarity about who you are. You look at those words, they bring you joy, great. If they don't, and if they weigh on you, you have the ability to change them or let them go. So let it go. Doesn't matter. It's your life. Let it go. Because what do you want? And here's another thing to get clear about. What do you want? What do you say yes to? Or no to? And another clue, we were talking about this in class this morning, is things resonate or they feel right in you. And if you say yes to something, and you find yourself there and thinking, I should have said no. Right? We've been there before. Now you know. So there's nothing to feel bad about. Now you know. Next time we won't be saying yes to that. We're going to let that go. You see? Everything is about you. And it shows you what path you want to be on by whether it resonates. Your heart and God within you is there to guide you. But all these questions about how it resonates, about whether when you say yes, you're actually meant to say yes. And it is okay to say no. I am absolutely not interested in that. N-I, no interest. A-N-I, absolutely no interest. Okay. I have no interest. And so you end up being, so we're talking about guilt. You know, sometimes we do things, this morning in class we're talking about guilt. And sometimes we do things because we feel guilty. You know, Jeannie Groshis, who comes and speaks here quite often, she's very funny. And she's going to have a women's retreat in January. I'm going to invite all the women here to go with me to that and support Jeannie. But she talked about, she does a thing, it's a great name, and I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, she has a business about uncluttering your mess. And she talked to me about it, and I took her class. Well, I had already just moved, and I moved from 2,000 square feet to 700 square feet. So I'd already done a lot of uncluttering, you know, because I couldn't fit everything in. But I want to go ahead and listen to what she had to say. And she said, you know, we keep things because, you know, whatever, they stack up. But here's something she said that I didn't get. She said, I didn't know before. She said, sometimes we keep things because we feel guilty. Exactly. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. But then I go in my room and I look at this picture that I have that my granddaughter made for me when she was 3. She's 17 now. She has never seen that picture. It's all framed and in my room. It's ugly as heck. It's a 3-year-old picture. Come on. It's ugly. So I tossed it because I felt guilty. I want my granddaughter. She doesn't care. She probably won't remember she made that picture for me. I'm the one dragging it all over the place. So you see, guilt has no place in it. We understand yes or no, what we want, and we can say clearly yes or no, so we don't drag the guilt along. So the energy of love isn't dragged down by guilt. That is the reason. That is one of the many reasons why we want to get to know who we are and what we want to do. I remember taking a class at CSL, and really the question becomes, I'm sorry, before I get to that story, what is showing up in your life? That's another clue as to who you actually are. I was at CSL, which is the Center for Spiritual Living in Dallas, with Petra Wellness and Karen, what is it? Yeah, whatever. Karen somebody, Petra and Karen. They're the co-leaders there. And so we had a discussion, and we were talking about, you know, who we are, what we wanted to have happen in our lives, okay? And I was talking about, I love to help with education. With kids in education, however it is. So I do after-school programs. Sometimes I work with high school kids, junior high school kids, just all kinds of kids. This one I wanted to do was trying to give scholarships to go to college. And so she wasn't asking me particularly, but she threw out in the room. She said, okay, so this is what you're thinking. What are you doing now? What are you doing right now that, you know, is helping you get there? I thought, I'm not doing a thing. I'm waiting to get, an extra $50,000? When's that going to happen? Right? That's not going to happen. So I thought, she's right. I could actually do something now. It doesn't have to be a big old deal. Bring that in my life right now. So we started doing $500 scholarships to community colleges to help them buy their books. Amen. Right? So now I'm doing something. So that's the point. If this is who you are, how is it showing up in your life? And if something is showing up in your life you don't care for, let it go, because it's not who you are. It's okay. Guilt-free. Did I click that? No. So just let it go. So this is what we're talking about. How do we live our lives? Let it go. And so what we want to do is begin to set intentions. This is number 2. The first thing was to get clear about who we are. Second thing is to set intentions. That's what the second side of the paper is for. So what if you want something, you set an intention for it. Setting an intention tells the universe what you want, number 1. And number 2, it activates the law of attraction. Right? What you focus on is what grows. You tell the universe what you want. You don't talk about what you don't want. Don't focus on what you don't want, because again, whatever you're focused on is what's going to come in. So always focusing on what you want. So you set your intention. It's powerful. My intention was I intended to help young people with education, and that's what I went ahead and did. So how to set an intention is 5 things. I call it FIRED, F-I-A-R-D. Fired. You're fired! All right. So you feel, you intend, you inform, you remember, and you do. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is think about how you want to feel. In Philippians 4, it says, do your best by filling your minds and meditating on things that are true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, all the best things, all the beautiful things, things to praise. Put this into practice. And God, who makes everything work together, will work you into his most excellent and harmonious plans. You have to decide what you want, though. You have to decide what you want and how you feel. So I am a person of feeling. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm highly emotional. Jason was not. He's an intellectual. But we came to the same place all the time. Me from my emotion, him from his intellect, but we still came to the same place. We all have both. The question is, what do you lead with? What do you lead with? So I told you I was a peace officer, and I was working with a group of young men. I think they were teens from 15 to 21, something like that. And we were moving them from one building to the next, from where they were having lunch back into where they were going to go and have a day room and have some time. So I'm posted at the door as they're walking through to make sure nobody hits each other or stabs somebody or whatever. So you're watching. They're criminals. So you're always having to watch them, right? You're always having to watch them. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching. This kid, he goes by and he says, the staff member went in front of me to go into the other room to make sure that he was there to receive them. So this kid walks up to me, he goes, "You really don't like that guy, do you?" "What guy?" He goes, "The staff member that just went by. What are you talking about?" He goes, "The look you just gave him." "Really? I gave him a look?" "Yeah, it's all on my face. I don't have a poker face. Everything I'm feeling is right here. My feelings are here. I know exactly how I feel about everything." Not everybody does. Some people have to figure it out because they're coming from here. None of it's a bad thing. It's just they're coming from here. And you have to think about, how am I feeling? So how do you feel? I just call it a BS barometer. I have one, and I know what it is. But we have to begin to know how we feel. So write down right now on the back of that paper 4 or 5 feelings that you wish to have, that you want to live with. For me, it's joy. Joy is number 1. Love, it's number 1, right? But what is the feeling? So you don't have to search for it. You know. Write down your 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, however many you want to write. Feelings that you want to have. Because this is what we're going to focus on. This is what your life is going to be like. It's full of joy, or whatever you decide. Those are just some ideas. They don't have to be those. 30 seconds. Five more seconds. And the next thing you want to do is to set an intention. Write down your intention based on a feeling. So just pick one of those feelings that you wrote down. I'm going to write an intention on it. And what you're trying to do is, what does it take? What will it take for me to feel this way? Whatever that is. So I'm picking joy. I'm going to give you an idea how it works. I'm picking joy. So I intend to be joyful. That's the intention. Being around others brings me joy. It does. And if I'm around someone who doesn't bring me joy, I move off. Because that's the only reason for me to be around people, is because they bring me joy, right? So this is what I know. Last Friday, I went to a catering thing with my sister. We have a family catering thing called Mother's Touch. And I call it a family thing, but she actually runs it. I just go and help pass food out. But I love it because I get to be at weddings and just all kinds of wonderful things, just giving people good food, and they're coming and getting free food, and they're loving you, and you're just joking and playing. I mean, it brings me so much joy. So I get to be around my family, and we're just joking and clowning about who likes what, and we're playing with the people. Put yourself in a place where you can experience the thing you're talking about, whatever that may be. Joy is the one for me. But whatever you wrote down, what's it going to take for you to feel that way? What's it going to take for you to feel that way? You want to write an affirmation about it. Write an affirmation about it. The universe is abundant and brings me abundant joy. It just doesn't have to be a big deal. The universe is abundant and brings me whatever it is you wrote down and brings it to me. My life is filled with whatever this is that you wrote. Prosperity, abundance, love. And then we want to remind ourselves every single day, you just get up and remind yourselves of how you want to feel and how you want to be, and the intention you set. Just before you even climb out of bed, I'm going to be full of joy and love today. The universe's process is going to bring all that to me. Just remind yourself before you get out of bed. Just say that. Say that to yourself. Whatever that it is that you wrote. Every single day. And then we have to take an action step. You got to do it. All right? You got to treat and move your feet. Or pray and get out of the way. So we take 3 action steps towards an intention that you set for yourself. So, and you can start small, whatever you do, but whatever it is, make sure that you can commit to it. Because what you don't want to do is set an intention for yourself, set an action and then not do it. Then you'll feel like a failure. You feel like you don't know how to do it. So start small and go ahead and set something for yourself, some sort of action step. Let's just say, the action step could just be, today I'm going to every single day remind myself before I get out of bed. That's an action step right there. Just do that. You can do that before you get up. I remind myself of who it is I want to be. If it's joy, I'm going to smile at least 3 people today. And just a big cheesy smile. so everybody smiles back. Whatever, it doesn't need to be a big deal. Just something that you can do and commit to. So we are born to manifest the glory of God within us. We have to stand for something. What do you stand for? Make a claim on your life. It's your life. Everybody has an opinion and an idea about how you should live. What's your idea? What is your idea? Because it's the only one that matters. It's the only one that matters. Have an idea and stand for something, whatever it is. Whatever it is. That's what we do. Get a clear and personal vision of what you and Spirit can do together. That's all we're talking about. Every single Sunday when I get up here, every single book we read about spirituality, all we're talking about is guiding you, each individual, to a personal experience with God. That's it. That's all we're trying to do. And in so many different ways, we're trying to bring in all kinds of ways that we can say it, but it's the same result. The goal is the same, that you have a personal experience with God. And when you do that, when you get a personal experience with God and stand for something, you will renew your sense of purpose. You will have a vision, and you will attain unshakable joy. You will attain unshakable joy. Namaste.